Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make these really pretty marble pendants. Now, you can put whatever image you want on the back of this. You can do pictures of family, your kids, pets, whatever you want. You can use scrapbook paper, it's all up to you. Now, I have found out that if you use glossier paper, it works out much better, because I did a marble last night with some dull paper, and the image in the background was kind of showing through on the other side of the paper. So glossy paper is best to do with these. Now, they do sell glass tiles that are just like these, and they're usually square and rectangle. Now, they have bales too that you buy to go along with them, and you just glue them to the back. Those bales are very expensive, and you don't get many in a pack. So I figured out how to make my own bale, where it's large enough that it can be glued to the back on these glass stones. So these stones, you can find them everywhere. I got these ones here from the dollar store, but you can also find them at any craft store. You can get them at Walmart, you can get them hardware stores, in the gardening section where they have flowers for vases and stuff. These marbles are so plentiful. The hardest thing is to pick what image you want to put on the back of your marbles. You can use scrapbook paper, and I actually don't have any scrapbook paper, so what I do is I go and I look through magazines and sales ads and stuff, and I'll find images that I like. Like this image here was on a pillow that I saw in a JCPenney sales ad, and this one was from a shirt that had a flower print all over it. So you just have to use your imagination when it comes to this to see what images you want to use. Now, these pendants are awesome with paper beads if you're into paper beads. I have made some paper beads about a week ago, and I was looking for images to use as these marbles, and I found an image that matches the paper beads with the colors, so I'm going to be making a necklace later on with that pendant. So this does not really cost anything to make. This is extremely inexpensive to make these pendants, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you all the things you're going to need to make them. So here's the list of materials you're going to need. You're going to need flat back marbles, and I got all these at the dollar store, and they come in a huge bag, and you're going to be able to make several pendants out of this just one bag. You're going to need wire, and I found that 24 gauge up to a 22 gauge is good for the pendant, because of how the bale is made. It's coiled around several times, and I found that a thinner gauge, smaller than 20 gauge, is best. You're going to need E6000 glue, and the cheapest place I have found E6000 glue is at Walmart, and it's $3 a tube, and it has the pour spout on it. It's not just the blunt end, so this makes it easier to work with. Everywhere else that I found the glue, it was double the price, $7. Even online, it was ridiculously priced. You're also going to need a sealer, like Diamond Glaze. Now, Diamond Glaze is the only expensive thing in this, and if you don't want to use Diamond Glaze, you don't have to if you can't find a place to buy it, because it is hard to find. You can use just regular clear nail polish. This is just double duty nail polish hardener. And you're also going to need your paper, and you can do scrapbook, magazine, sales ads, pictures, whatever you like. This is the picture I was talking about earlier. I have made paper beads, and all the colors of my paper beads are in this pillow, and I'm going to be using that as my pendant. And these are the paper beads I'm talking about. I thought it was really neat how close all the colors were. So I'm really excited to make a necklace using these paper beads in my glass marble pendant. So these are the materials you need, and now here are the tools. So here are the tools you're going to need. You're going to need scissors to cut your paper. You're going to need round nose pliers, and this is to form the spiral on the back of your bale. You're going to need chain nose pliers, the ones that have the smooth mouth, not the one with the rough teeth. And you're going to need wire cutters. You're also going to need something to wrap your wire around, so you have a nice round bale like this here. And I used this stick here. It's for stuffing pillows, polyester fill for stuffing pillows, and I just wrapped my wire around this. Now you're probably not going to have this, so you can use chopsticks, you can use a handle to a paintbrush, you can use a pencil, and a pencil does have a bigger bail, so that's also something else to take in mind when you want to make your necklace. How big do you want your bail to be? Because if you have a big bail, you can make several like seed bead strands and pass like 10 seed bead strands through that bail if you want it huge. So the bigger object that you use to wrap your wire around, the more strings with whatever you want on it, cord, whatever, will fit through that bail, so keep that in mind. Now the brush here is also for applying the diamond glaze to the back of the pendant to seal it so it doesn't get messed up. So these are all the tools that you need, and now we're ready to get started making it. So now we're ready to glue our marble down to our paper, and I don't like to cut the circle out first. I think it's best to glue the marble down to the paper and then cut the paper out around it. So here are some other ones I did. This is paper from a shirt, and it's already glued down and dried. I like to let these dry overnight just to make sure that they're hard enough. And when I go to cut around the edge, because it does ooze out slightly, I don't like my scissors getting all gumped up, so I usually let this harden overnight. Now this is the one I did with a dull paper. This is newspaper, and I noticed that the image behind it was kind of bleeding through right here, so it's best to use the glossy paper. And here's another one I did. This is a lampshade, and I liked the pattern on there, so I glued it down. And these are all hardened. This is from overnight, so these are ready to cut out. So here's my marble, and here's the image I want to use. And see how it has that pointed tip. Some of them don't have them on the E6000. And I'm just gonna put my glue in the center, and I'm going to work it around in a circular motion. Get it right up to the edges. Okay, I think that's good enough. Just sit my marble on top, slowly press it down. Now sometimes there are bubbles in it and you have to press it down to get it out. Okay, so now I have my marble set on my paper, and I got the bubbles out, and I'm going to go ahead and let this harden overnight, and I'm going to work on this one in the video while this is hardening. So since this is hardened and dry, I'm just going to cut it out. And my scissors fit really nicely right up against the marble. And it's super easy to cut out. So I can get closer and cut any of this that I don't want off. Okay, now it's ready enough for our bail. So now I'm going to show you how to make the bail to go on this. And the bail is not that hard to make. It's pretty easy. So now I'm going to show you how to make the bails. And I have two different bails here. All I did was I turned the spirals outward, and I got this look. And I use this one here and the bigger one. And this one here, I turned the spirals inward, and I used them on the smaller marble. So you could do whatever you like. turn them inward, outward, to get two different looks. So it's up to you what you want the back of yours to look like. So I cut a piece of wire 10 inches long, and I'm just going to put my ends together, make sure they're even, and I'm going to bring this down here and kind of get a teardrop shape. I don't want to completely bend this in half because it makes it fragile to breaking. A little bit smaller. Okay, so that's it right there. That's good enough for me. Now I'm going to take my object that I'm going to wrap this around. And I also thought you can use knitting needles if you have knitting needles to wrap your bill around. And I'm just going to leave maybe 1/2 inch of that sticking out, and I'm going to bend it around. I'm going to split my wires, and I'm going to wrap them around just like this. And sometimes I take my chain nose pliers and I hold this and I pull it to get these closer together and make it a tighter wrap. And I'm going to wrap these around again. And I usually like to have 6 coils on my veil. Pull these down again. Push these together. And again, I'm going to pull this. And pull these wires. Sometimes I take it off and I push them together more. Slide it back on. So this is losing its shape. I'm just going to bend it more. I want this to be a little bit shorter, so you could just tweak it to however you want it. And if you want this to be a rounder shape, put your round nose pliers in there and get it to whatever shape you want it. So that's good enough for me right there. I'm going to bend these wires down. I'm going to take this and do a 90-degree angle, bend it so it looks like that, where it's straight coming off of this. Keep trying to get these coils together. Pull this again. And I'm going to take my wires and I'm going to bend them around this stem right here. Do one here, one here. Just keep pulling this and tighten it up. Push these closer together. So you're constantly tweaking this to get it just right. Pull these more. Now I'm going to bend these wires over each other, like this. I'm going to go around. Just like this. Now I'm going to take my bail off. Check it, see how it is. Tighten it up more. Okay, I need these 2 wires to be the same length. So I have to check and make sure that they're the same. And one is just a tad bit longer than the other. So I'm going to trim it. Now I'm going to take one end of my wire, and like I said, if you want it to look like this one, where they're turning in, you're going to take the end right here and you're going to turn it inward like this. and keep turning it inward this way. Or if you want it to look like this, where their spirals are going out, you're going to turn it to the right, that way. So I think I want mine to be inward. So I'm going to take the end of my wire, make sure this is straight because my spiral is going to be flattened on this side. And I'm going to curve it in until I have this shape. Then I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and I'm going to use them to make a spiral. Just coiling that up. Now I have one side done, and I'm going to do the same to the other. Grab close to the end and turn it in. Now we have this. I'm going to grab my little spiral here, turn it. So now I have to get these sides to match, and I'm going to turn that side in like that side. This one here could be a little tighter. Okay, so once I get them the way I want them, I'm going to flatten this right here, this point, where I twisted the wire around that. But before I flatten it, I'm going to put my dowel back in to make sure that those coils stay nice and round. Flatten it. Now, these here, like the store-bought ones, they're usually flat, and when you sit them down, the bail stands up. So when you put a marble in it, like, here's a marble. When you put the marble in it, it's even with the marble. It's flat, flush with the marble. So this one, right now, is not like that. I have to bend it. So see here what I mean. This one's straight. So I'm going to put my dowel back in this, and I'm going to bend this in one direction, up, like that, so it's flat. Take it off, check it, so now it's like these. And doing that made it get a little bit out of shape, so I'm just going to bend it back into shape. So do any adjustments that you need to do to it right now, because after this we're going to glue it to the back of our marble. I noticed one time I didn't have these perfectly flat. They were slightly wavy, and when I glued it to the back of my marble, they stood up. So really make sure that these are even with each other on the back, that they're perfectly flat before you glue it. So once you get your bail ready, then we're ready to glue it to the back of our marble. So now we have to glue our bail on the back. And before I glue it, I usually see where like it sits at, because some of these marbles aren't all perfectly round. Some of them are oval shaped, like this one. This one is not perfectly round, which I really liked because of how it covered my image. So find out where you want your bail to sit with whatever image you're using. And I think mine is fine, just right there. You put your glue on. Now those spirals we made, they are going to grip the glue, just like the veil does in the store-bought ones. So you don't need a whole lot, just a little bit. Spread it out. Let me see if I need more. Just like that. The glue comes up through the spirals and it really grips onto it. And you could touch this glue. It's not bad for your skin. And it comes right off. It's really easy to get off. I'm going to put a little bit more on the back, maybe, to bond it on, like it's an epoxy. Okay, so I really like this, where it's at. So now we have to let it harden, and I usually do like to let it harden overnight because it's so much more sturdy and durable and just ready to wear. Now after this is hardened overnight, I'll take my diamond glaze and I'll just squirt just a tiny little bit on the back of this, and I'll brush it with a paintbrush and smooth it out on the edges to seal the paper. But I can't do it right now because my E6000 is still wet. So once you get your E6000 dry, go ahead and take the diamond glaze and seal the back. And also, if, like I said, if you don't have diamond glaze, you can use clear nail polish, and it's just gonna seal your paper here, so if it were to get wet, it's not gonna mess up your image. Alright, so this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It's really different compared to all my other beading videos, but I don't know if it's so different because I've got the flu and it just kind of feels weird that I'm sick, or it seems more like a craft tutorial to me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please like this video, comment down below, subscribe to me if you want to see more videos, and friend me on Facebook and show me what you've made. I can't wait to see the marble glass pendants that y'all can make. And I'm just dying for this to get hardened so I could put a bail on it and make a necklace out of it. I really want to see what it's going to look like with those paper beads. So use paper beads in your pendants too. I just can't wait to see what you guys are going to make. So thanks for watching.